What is up, everybody? It's Owen here from Devil Watches, back out with a new video. But before we get into it, please subscribe, hit the little bell. We're doing a giveaway this week, so I'll tell you at the end. But please check us out on all our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it, we're there. So please check it out. Right, today we're going to talk about 2020 and what a year has been for watches and new releases. During the week it came out that Rolex, Patek Philippe, Tudor aren't going to release any new watches this year. They're going to push it back to next year, which is crazy because it's something that happens every year. It's like a staple of the watch industry where you just the same what big companies come out and it's a big deal. The same as with cars, with the Geneva Car Show. In the watch industry we have what's called Baselworld, which happens every year, and it's pretty much just a trade show for watches. I went back in 2016, and if you're anyway interested in watches, it's worth going to see. I went more as a tourist, so it was a little bit different because it is a trade show. So, but you get to walk around, play with all the watches, and yeah, Basel's a beautiful city as well. So let's get into why this happened. We all know why this happened. The whole world's on lockdown. In Ireland, we've been stuck in the house for 2 weeks now. But the main reason has been the coronavirus. It knocked off Baselworld. Baselworld was meant to be around this time of the year actually, and when we found out that got cancelled, a lot of the watch brands pushed back their release for another 2 or 3 weeks. I think the end of this month Rolex were meant to bring out their new releases, but like everything, no one really knew how big this would get. So they really went back to their statement they released the other day, where they're just saying they're not releasing any watches for this foreseeable future, and they're probably going to wait till next year. So Baselworld next year is I think it's late January, so it's not that far into the year, so it's still not that far off. But what does it mean for an industry that's so stuck in its ways to have their main trade show cancelled? So a lot of people say, why can't they not release their watches now? But the way these brands work, it's not like say other watch brands where they release online and everything goes crazy. But a lot of these watches, like, you can't buy online. Now since this whole thing, ADs are allowed to sell Pateks online, which is crazy if you're going to spend that much money on a watch and not actually get in, sit down, wear the watch, actually get the whole experience, get your couple of free glasses of champagne. I can't see it working out. I can't see if I was going to invest in a Patek Philippe that I would want to do it online and not get the whole experience of a luxury brand. It's the whole experience is luxury, not just the watch. So it really is a make or break time for Baselworld. Now that it's kind of twisting and brands like Patek are going online, probably when this all finishes they'll take that option back down. But where it leaves Baselworld in a situation where if they do release at the end of the year and everything goes well, does that mean that Baselworld is going to be forgotten? It's already in a stage of vulnerability. A lot of big brands have pulled out already. In my opinion, I think it should be there. It's something on the calendar that everyone can relate to, everyone can go to. It's meet up. We kind of can get to the stage where we're too kind of caught on our computers or behind the screens of our phone that we're seeing all these things, and no one actually does face-to-face meeting. Because the watch world, it's an industry, like, it's all over the world. It's not like a certain area where you can meet these people every couple of months, you come across them, but like this is a once a year event that people from all over the world go to Switzerland. And yeah, I think it's a great thing for the watch industry, and it gives like something to build up to, and an exciting week. And yeah, I will like to go again if it's still going. But yeah, it's a great time to be into watches, to see what these companies do. There's such big brands that they could have their own releases. If Rolex were going to release new watches, it would probably get as much attention at their event as would at Baselworld as a whole, because these brands are just so big that they have that pull that people go to Baselworld, read the news about Baselworld to find out what the likes of Rolex are doing, Patek are doing, Tudor. So if this goes good for them and they come up with something different, which I highly doubt they will, because these companies are kind of stuck in their old ways where it's just, this is the way we see it, this is the way it's done, this is the way it has been done for 100 years, so we're not going to change it. But no, it's very interesting times, and well, it could have a big effect now, which would probably be one of the main effects that the cancelling their watch releases have. A lot of these brands, the big brands, there's only so much you can do with a watch every year. So it's similar to cars, but you can't, every year you can't be bang, 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 wow, this is different, this is new, this is different. A lot of the years, they kind of, what they say is they dress up the watch. So one year a new watch will be released, the next year they might do a different bezel colour, or they might put on a different strap, or a lot of small tweaks to kind of make the watch a new release, but really it's a similar watch. And then every couple of years they come up with something new, like a new movement or a new design. But yeah, this could affect them in the long run, where if you're building up into these 3 or 4 years, and say you're in year 3 of your cycle, and say every 4 years you as a brand, you say, right, we're going to release something new. This could mess you up then, because you're kind of caught with a missed year. Do you go ahead and release it, or do you wait and build it up again? Or are you going, like next year in 2021, are you going to release watches again in 2021 when you're already releasing this year's watches and next year's watches? So will there be a longer period of dressing up watches? It's a very interesting point to come across. But yeah, like these brands are so big that nothing will affect them. Rolex will come through this, Patek will come through this. It's the ADs and the shops that sell these watches that are kind of in a more vulnerable position. They're closed, shops are closed, they don't really have a great online presence. But what it does do is it gives them time when everything gets over. It gives them an extra few months to sell off the stock they already have. Because with a lot of these brands, there's 3 or 4 watches that you get put on a waiting list, or they won't be taking names on the list because it's already full. So there's a few watches every year that people want. Say for Rolex, is all the sport watches like your Daytonas, your GMTs, stuff like that people want. But when you buy off these companies, or you get registered as an AD, you need to take the whole collection. You can't just say, oh, I'm only selling the Daytonas because I can't keep them in the shop. You have to take the whole collection as one, and there's tiers to what watch you can get. So when you start off as an AD, you get kind of say the lower end watches, and then if you can prove you can sell them, you move up and you keep moving up into the higher end watches of that brand. So it will give people and ADs time to kind of get rid of the brands or the watches that they already have in stock, and then when the new releases do come around, they'll be able to buy more of these stocks, and they won't have that much of a back catalogue. And it's also a good way to clear the so-called waiting lists if they are a real thing. But there's so many people, if you talk to anyone that wants a watch, it's not just like, I think people think, if you're not really into the watch industry, people think you just go into the shop and you say, oh, I want that Daytona, and you just walk in, it's like, oh, here's my money, there's your watch, thank you, goodbye. No, it doesn't work like you could be waiting months. Even some of the releases you could be waiting years to get on. It's just how good of a relationship you have with your AD, how influential you are, that all affect these things. But what should we do now then? So we're in a limbo where I know most of the people that are watching this video aren't going to be out there buying Rolexes or the new releases, but it's nice to watch that. Hey, I'm not even going to be buying them, but it's nice to watch that. So it's nice to kind of see what they're doing. But for us now, what we really should be doing is, this is your time to look into the smaller brands, the micro brands. These companies will still be releasing watches as the year goes on. They don't have the luxury of being able to hold off for a whole year and not produce anything, just live off old stocks or whatever cash flow they have available. So really go out there, look into the smaller brands, learn about the smaller brands. If you have the money, I know it's hard times, but if you can, buy into these brands, because these are the ones that are going to struggle the most. Maybe if you can't buy a watch, say if someone's company selling the watches for €500, their watches are, go onto the website. They're probably selling straps, they're probably selling watch cases, they probably have clothes, merchandise that you can buy, and you can just kind of help these companies get through this very difficult time. Because like anything, watches are one of the first thing off the list when times get hard. People still have to pay for all their bills, they have their insurance, these are all the things that have to be done. But it's the things like the watches, the gym memberships, the clothes, these are all the first thing that go out the window when we go into hard times. So please, if you can support the smaller brands, do. Not just Devil Watches, there's hundreds of them out there that are great companies, and they really are putting a lot of time, and this time is a kind of make or break for them. But don't worry for us, we'll still be here. And then finally finishing off, will I miss any watches from the releases? I was looking forward to Tudor. You know, I'm a big fan of Tudor. For anyone who doesn't know, Tudor is like Rolex's little brother, owned by the same company, use a lot of the same parts, bracelets, cases, stuff like that. But then Rolex is either the higher quality movements and finishing. But I love Tudor, and they have their 50th year anniversary this year of their first chronograph, so they probably would have had a big release for that. It might have been something cool or different. They'll probably, if they release it next year, it'll be 51 years, so I presume they will still release the watch, because they'll obviously would have all the plans in procession. So yeah, I miss out on that. I would have liked to see what they would have done. I think it's a great opportunity for Tudor to try something different. They are kind of like the Rolex's little brother that's a little bit more wild, so they will go out on a limb a little bit more. So maybe for them, they might leave the launch to the later in the year, and they might go for it. Maybe do launches at different times, which might work. Say the Tudor comes out before Christmas, and then Rolex waits for Baselworld in late January. So it's interesting times. There's loads of articles up online if you want to read about it, see how it all works. But yeah, please like and subscribe to this video. I'll get into the giveaway. We're doing a giveaway this weekend, Easter Sunday. So all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. If you want, comment, tag your friends in the channel as well, so they can get more people in, more people that can win. I know you probably don't want other people in there, because the less there is, the more chance of you winning. But no, spread the word, please. And once again, thank you for listening to what I think of the closure of releases for the big brands. But like anything, these brands will last. They'll grow strong. They'll come out next year even bigger, and it might. I always look on the bright side. It might even work out better for the ADs, that when these new releases do come out, all of this will pass and they'll have something big to kind of grow and go ahead on. So yeah, once again, please subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Just so you all can get a view of the giveaway watch. I know I wasn't wearing a watch in the video soon, but there you go. We're giving this watch away, so just please subscribe. Check out all our social media, and best of luck. Boom.